there's something new is that I'm gonna talk about how we can become a polyglot within a couple of years, let's say 3 years. So how we can become a polyglot within the years. So I'm gonna talk from my personal experience, and I feel that throughout the year I was able to maintain these languages that I speak, and yeah, I'm gonna share the tips and tricks with you guys. Hopefully you succeed, and let me know in the comments if you are also multilingual or if you want to learn the future other languages, so we can connect and we can learn from each other's experiences and hopefully become more successful. So I'm just gonna talk about a bit of my background experience in languages. So I studied in Paris-Sorbonne University in Abu Dhabi. And if you're not familiar with this university, it is the only branch that exists in Abu Dhabi, and it's based in France. Background experience in education was languages and translation. Basically, we studied how to translate different documents like philosophy, law, economy, and several more. So basically the classes were about studying one language, and another classes was mainly for translation. So we had different departments, and the departments that we encountered, I think in my class there was 4 different departments, and the languages that I chose was French, Spanish, Italian. So I'm really fluent in French as a main study in the university. The university teaches everything in French, so you need to be fluent in that language, and then you can choose your languages, which are Spanish and Italian. So basically my major was Spanish civilization and translation. That means that whenever you need to translate that means that we studied everything about Spanish culture, civilization, and its economy and politics. So in Spain and in Latin America. I was not fluent in Spanish when I started, so I was able to learn throughout the process, and all our class was the same thing. So it was a learning experience for us. First thing that we learned was how to speak the language and simple grammar and everything, and then we moved to more other things, which are translation, doing presentations in the language, and etc. Tips that I advise everyone who's learning a new language at the moment is that you give yourself 6 months of education. You need to learn the language 6 months or more. It's not really easy to learn new language by going through it for a 1 month. It's kind of difficult to learn everything in the language within a short period of time. So 6 months are really a proper time that you can accustom your brain to learning new language and adapting to it. So let's say you're learning grammar. You need to learn step by step everything about this language in grammar, and I prefer that you learn it from books, because although it's a bit mundane and boring to study from books, especially grammar, but it will really give you the solid foundation so you can build the sentences that you need to talk about. My second tip is always practice speaking. You always need to practice speaking the language, even making small sentences throughout the day. For example, simple phrases that you say every day. For example, I'm going to the grocery shop, or I'm going to buy new clothes. Try to accustom yourself to saying these words on a daily basis, so you can really make it a habit that will last with you for a longer period, and your mind will remember the sentences once you memorize them. The third tip that I would like to share is that as soon as you find the news channel or the program that you like, stick to it. Stick to listening to this language in that program. Let's say, for example, you found a French news program, which is 24, which is one of the famous news channels in France. Stick to that channel and keep watching it every day, or at least once a week. As soon as you watch it once a week, you will accustom to saying certain words, and you will learn new words as you go. You'll be able to understand a lot of what's happening in the sentence, and maybe 2 or 3 words that you will not understand. But this process happens after 6 or 7 months after you're studying the language, because watching the news early on will really confuse you, will not help you to learn new things, because they will be speaking fast and you will not be able to back up everything that's happening. And yeah. Tip number 4 is that you try to learn the language in a language group. If you found a language group in your city, it will be easier for you to communicate with native speakers in that language. Let's say you found a group of Spanish-speaking people, individuals. You can join their group for daily or once a week classes with them. It will be easier for you to pick up the slang and be able to create sentences that happens. For example, for me, I had really difficulty in learning expressions in the language, let's say Spanish language, and I find it really hard to understand the expression and use it in a daily basis. So going to language clubs, as they say, or group, helped me understand how local people use it. The next tip that I would love to share with you guys is that don't be shy to make mistakes. It's very important that you forgive yourself on your own, try to learn new language. It is very hard to be vulnerable whenever you feel that you made a mistake. It is easy to get carried away and to think that you are really not learning new things, but it's easy. It is hard at first, but as soon as your mind gets familiar with the language, it will come to you faster and faster. So just be kind to yourself at first, and everything will be okay. Let me know in the comments if you found this video very helpful. I will make part 2 of this video with more details of my story, how I learned the languages in depth, and more in-depth tips for you guys. If you like it, hit the likes button and subscribe. It will mean the world to me, and it will help me to continue making these videos. Thank you very much, and see you soon.